Hello again from Vietnam Travel Updates. Today, we're bringing you some new updates including the following. The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam plan to reopen all international routes from February 15th. Remarkable comments and reviews from a number of travel business owners about the necessity of quickly reopening inbound tourism. An important point that needs special attention on policies and operational guidelines for tour operators from the authorities in the coming time. According to many travel businesses, schools in Vietnam have opened their gates to welcome millions of students back to study after a long time of online learning. It shows that the way to prevent epidemics must also change with the tourism industry. The holidays of April 30th, May 1st, and the upcoming summer travel season are probably the last opportunities for the tourism businesses' efforts to return. Many businesses expressed their thoughts and expectations to the head of the tourism industry. If we delay, we will lose the opportunity, one of the owners said. Many travel companies have offered travel products to their international partners in the plan of reopening from March 31st, although not yet officially. Currently, the peak season of the inbound travel market has passed, but this is also the time to prepare for the upcoming high season. If Vietnam's travel products are now ready and well prepared at this time, foreign partners also have 3 to 6 months to warm up the market and welcome travelers for the next season. They agreed that Vietnam should open up and accept foreign tourists as soon as possible. Because neighboring countries such as Thailand, Philippines, Cambodia, have signaled to open the door, although some have not really received travelers, the governments of these countries have promoted and informed the international market. If the country opens slowly, the industry will lose customers and risk that customers will no longer pay attention to Vietnam. They also added that there are practically no barriers to delaying the reopening. Our vaccine coverage is among the fastest in the region, even with the third shot. Tourism needs to be developed in a balanced way and business can only really recover when the international segment is opened, one emphasized. According to the Vietnam National Administration of Tourism, the number of searches for information about Vietnam's tourism from the beginning of 2022 is increasing sharply. Analysis from Google's data shows that from the beginning of January 2022 until now, the number of international searches about Vietnamese aviation has always remained at a very high level. Even at the time of January 21st, it increased by 425%. February 3rd increased by 374% compared to the same period in 2021. Along with that, the number of searches about accommodation also started to increase, in which the number of searches from countries such as the US, Australia, Russia, France, Germany, Japan, Singapore, India, UK, and Canada about Vietnam tourism information is the highest. More comments added, the problem of Vietnam today is the determination to open the door and choose the time to officially announce it to the world. The world has entered a new phase, the demand for travel and tourism is increasing. It is recorded that the occupancy rate in many tourist resorts around the world was on par with the time before 2020. The world has had a different management view of the pandemic. The internal demand of the market is very high. If the reopening is late, Vietnam tourism will lose the chance to recover. Currently, a number of countries in the region such as Thailand and Malaysia have opened their doors to tourists and do not have quarantine regulations. Vietnam's central government and local authorities should facilitate this reopening as much as possible. It is important to be consistent in policies to suit the tourism situation in the region. Most international visitors who come to Southeast Asia don't stop at just one country. The regulation that foreign visitors entering Vietnam infected with COVID-19 must be quarantined and treated makes the business unable to afford the costs. While asking to buy insurance, nowhere would sell, a businessman frankly expressed. The policy of quarantine and blockade is still too strict. Many other countries consider COVID-19 infection without symptoms or mild symptoms as normal, but when travelers enter Vietnam, found infected, they must be isolated for treatment. For this, they won't accept that. In addition, the price of airfares from abroad to Vietnam in the past time is too high, making it difficult for businesses to organize tour programs. Therefore, the government needs to bring aviation activities back to normal and make the conditions of flight organization procedures transparent so that businesses do not have to pay unofficial costs when bringing passengers into Vietnam. All is ready, just waiting for the authorities. The business is ready to return but is still waiting for instructions to welcome international guests from the authorities. The tour programs have been prepared, but the price cannot be calculated because services such as restaurants, hotels have not opened, tourist attractions have not yet operated. These parts of the cost are missing. All activities are now subject to government policy. When businesses see that the reopening policy is certain, they will confidently prepare and arrange to fund for the resumption of operations. If we keep counting the cases and then based on that to calculate the level of the epidemic into orange and red zones like today, restaurants, hotels, and tourist attractions will run out of ways, not daring to open their doors, another business owner concluded. Vietnam will remove limits on the number of international flights coming and going from all markets starting February 15, restoring frequency to pre-pandemic levels. Mr. Dinh Viet Son, Deputy Director of the Civil Aviation Administration of Vietnam, said Vietnam will end restrictions on international flights starting February 15, it is today, allowing flight frequency restoration to pre-pandemic levels. He said other countries have acknowledged the new policy and only China has not agreed to resume commercial flights with Vietnam. On February 11, the Ministry of Transport assigned the Civil Aviation Administration of Vietnam to hold discussions with aviation authorities of other countries and territories on resuming regular international passenger flights with markets that had direct flights to Vietnam before the pandemic. Vietnam had already begun a gradual resumption of international flights from the start of this year while easing quarantine requirements. In particular, vaccinated passengers now only need 3 days of self-quarantine. With the high attention from many levels of departments, businesses and individuals as mentioned above, we really hope that everything will take place in a positive and good way in the coming time. This brings the end to our updates for today. Are there any other necessary things that you would like to input? Please share with us. Thank you very much for your watching and don't forget to encourage us by sharing our channel with your friends, like and subscribe so that you will be the first to be notified of the latest videos. Goodbye and see you next time.